Hello and welcome to another edition of IIABCal Voices. I'm James Lott Jr. and welcome to another edition of IIABCal Voices. I'm James Lott Jr. And we're talking and spotlighting people who are a part of the Big I of California and their insurance agents and brokers all over the California. And we're seeing who they are and what they do in insurance and their agencies. This person is the president of Fidelity Insurance Services in the East Bay. Well, it's said for him, but he's actually offices are in Berkeley. And he also once was working in PR and sales for the San Francisco Giants, the minor league team. So it's very kind of cool. Yep. So he knows about sales. He knows about all that kind of stuff. He knows about the marketing, all that stuff. Erik Holland. Hi, Erik.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Yes. Sales is sales is sales is sales. I mean, it's all one half dozen of the other, isn't it?
Yep, it is. But like so many people in insurance, it was the family that was the link for me to transition over from baseball into the sales of insurance. But yeah. So I was a sales career with the minor league team down in San Jose, and then took some of those skills over to the insurance side.
I was curious, how'd you get involved with the minor league team? How'd you get involved with them?
I got out of college and wasn't quite sure what I want to do, and had a thought one day that I really wanted to work in baseball. So I sent out, dozens of letters to minor and major league teams. And actually the one I had the best response from was one closest to home growing up. I was born and raised in the East Bay. So I joined them as an intern in 2000 and was there for five years on the full-time staff. So I was there during when the San Francisco Giants went to the World Series.
Yes.
And got to go to some, really neat events and meet a lot of really cool people. And I always describe it was a perfect amount of time. No regrets about doing it. Yeah. But, with that kind of job, it was a ton of hours. And, if you stay too long, you might begin to not have as much fun. So I think I was there the perfect amount of time.
So now you can watch baseball. It's okay. You can watch
exactly. It. Now, one of my favorite things is just, for fun and a hobby again. So.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's so funny. That's very cool. Yep. Okay, so you're brought. So who brought us, to everybody who doesn't know who you are, who brought you into insurance?
It was my dad.
Yes.
Yeah. So he had a career. He was a true salesman, and had, his whole kind of professional life had been around sales. And then he joined kind of previous version of Fidelity in 1987. It was essentially two different locations with about 8 or 9 gentlemen at the time. They were all principals. And he kind of matriculated his way up into becoming a principal. And the two agencies merged into what is now Fidelity. And a lot of those principals began retiring, and he would buy their book of business, and what was not originally a family business became one in 2005 when I joined up with him.
Now, what's your dad's name? If you don't know.
My dad was Steve. He unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, but yeah. So he was there. Which makes it great that I joined when I did. It was him and one other principal when I joined in 2005. So by the time they both began to really had to step back, I'd been there a good, 10, 11 years and had a chance to learn the business and gain the trust of the clients and most importantly, the staff.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, what is one thing about your dad's work that you take away with you, like with that, something how he was that you use?
The one thing with him was he really enjoyed there was no problem too big or more importantly too small that he didn't want to put his attention towards for a client. So it didn't matter the size of the premium associated with that right. client or what the problem may be. If as soon as he made the connection with them and found out why it was important to them, he wanted to find a solution for them. And it was kind of that kind of compassion and that kind of do-goodishness in him that I think all of us in the agency have kind of continued on with.
It's like it doesn't. We treat you all the same. Doesn't matter if the business is small or big. You know what I mean. Like everybody gets treated the same. You get the same service. You get the same attention. And and the same smiles and everything. I like that. I like that idea actually.
Yeah,
I do. I like that a lot. So when you came in though, so what did you start out as when you came in? Obviously you've moved up, but like what was your level you start out as?
So I just started as a producer. I had a desk, I had a phone. At the time we were kind of past phone books, thankfully. So it wasn't strictly dialing for dollars. And thankfully, there was, kind of coming into an agency with my dad. He helped, kind of kickstart a few things for me and make sure it wasn't, too bare for me. But primarily, I was eating what I, hunted and killed, as far as my clients.
Like
so, it was, and I really can't imagine doing it any other way, looking back on it now. But I am, grateful that I did, come into a situation that was family, having dad there. I know some people are able to just thrive in that kind of, type A sales personality of insurance, and, more power to them. But I definitely, I think it was kind of perfect path he kind of carved out for me. And that's probably because our personalities were so similar.
That's very cool. Were you and your dad close growing up? Were you always kind of close, or did you come close to later?
It was really rewarding to come back and do the business with him for, 10 or 12 years before he started to have some problems. We were close in the sense that, he was very involved in like Boy Scouts when I was growing up and attending sporting events and things like that. As far as personal hobbies, he, not a ton of a crossover there. He's really big into bicycling, whereas I'm not as much. I'm more of kind of the team sports kind of person, where he could kind of take or leave some of that.
Okay.
But most importantly, just kind of social and enjoying, being around each other or other people. There's never a time in our life where, things were tense between us.
Very nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So how did you guys survive last year into this year's pandemic? There was some lockdowns in places. I know San Francisco was I know you're in the East Bay, but I know San Francisco was hit really hard. LA here was hit really hard. So I'm just curious, how did you guys do business-wise? How are you guys doing?
We've really kind of, held our own, through all of this. We're probably close to right around 65-70% personal lines of coverage. So with that, most of our struggles the past year are unrelated to COVID. People are continuing on with their auto and home insurance. But then, you get into the other things that have gone on the last couple of years in California with, the fires and everything. And that's where our stresses have come from, is the non-renewals we're working for clients. But as far as kind of, maintaining a culture in the office was really important. So we're still remote. Okay. It seems to be what the staff is most comfortable with right now. They're just transitioning into, dealing with kids being in schools.
Yes, all that. Yes.
And I've seen, after watching their performance, while we've been away from each other, and the feedback I've gotten from clients, there's no reason for me to add to that stress and kind of push people back into the office. Let's get everyone comfortable with their own personal lives again, and then we can adapt to what will likely be some sort of hybrid model in the future.
No, I mean, that's the thing. It's like a lot of companies nowadays are going, well, we'll just stay remote most of the time, or we come in once a week, or we come in once or twice a month. Some things in person are nice to have, obviously, but
I mean, I grew up, growing up in the East Bay, and my dad was, very involved with the agency then in '91 when we had the Berkeley fire. Oakland Hills.
I remember that.
And I remember the stories I heard about people showing up with, essentially, nothing. They just had, fled their home, and then they showed up at the agency, later that day or the next morning, and we're kind of like, what do I do now? So I really want to maintain a physical presence of some sort in the community. I realize times are different now. People can always access their policy, with Google and a 1-800 number, and that's great. Yeah. But just the thought of, if somebody did, something terrible happen again, I want people to have peace of mind that they know where they can find us, that they're not, trying to track down phone numbers if that was needed.
Yes, and folks do like that. Not everybody's in that. There are folks, there's a segment of the population who likes. They're comfortable with that. If they like it,
Yep.
It will never go. That will never go out of style. Maybe new things come out and this stuff. But the old school way we're calling it, I guess now.
Yep.
I'm feeling old, but the old school way, it never really goes out of style. I mean, personal service, people want personal service even more now, I'm finding, because they're so tired of the automated, big box stuff. They want smaller agencies. They want to be able to know who their agent is, who their writer. Like they want to know. Yeah.
Faced with the name, meet them, find out what's important to them, me find out what's important to them as well. So,
so why do you like insurance? Now, you've been doing it for a long time. Why do you like it?
Well, these days it gets a little tough with everything going on. But I really enjoyed because I know it's kind of cliche, but so many of the days are different because every client's different as far as what you're working on. I really enjoy, the problem solving aspect of it, helping people with, what they have going on in their life and making sure what's important to them is taken care of. I mentioned that we do about 70% personal lines. Out of that 30% that's commercial, we do a lot of nonprofit insurance.
Oh, wow.
And with where we are in the Bay Area, we've got a pretty big, nonprofit community up here, and we have a lot of that. And and I'm actually, as far as what my fingers are touching every day, it's pretty heavy into that segment of our book, and that's really rewarding. With what people are doing, whether it's cleaning up a beach, or recently I've been helping an organization that's very involved with legal assistance for immigrants, and
very cool. Okay,
it's all over the place. So what people are taking on, the challenges, the things they want to fix, to have a role in helping them achieve those goals, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Well, thank you, Erik, for being on the show. We were spotlighting Erik Holland, Fidelity Insurance Services, or in Berkeley. If they want to find you guys, where can they find you guys?
Probably the easiest, is our website, fidelityinsuranceservice.com. We're also on Facebook under Fidelity Insurance Service. And then just please reach out. We've got, our main line. It's, even while we're remote, is answered regularly, and try and respond to everyone, as soon as we get that call,
like somebody else back.
Yeah, it goes back to that sales element. You can't let a return call sit for too long.
No.
Got to call back right away.
Got to call back. Yes, I used to do sales. I know. You got to call back. And I like that. Erik Holland, Fidelity Insurance Services. Also, our website is IIABCal.org. So you want to go with the big I, you want to do that. I'm James Lott Jr. at JLJ Media. We thank you very much, and we will see you next time.